Well, I'm working on solving that problem by other means.
Sperling really needs to step into the studio. You guys need to have Cy Sperling step in there.
I don't know who that is.
And
let me get a word in, though.
For men.
Let me get a word in, bro.
Yeah, hang on, Richard.
Let me answer you. Okay. The bottom line is, if my property tax would go up tenfold for being here, and it certainly has not. And certainly my overall tax burden is much lower than it's ever been for various reasons. But the other thing is, if it was 10 times more, I would pay that to live in a society where there was at least an identifiable subset of people who, when I say the government sucks, don't argue with me. Oh my God. The greatest joy on earth is finding the community where you can be a moderate.
Richard, go ahead.
You can find that in other places. Like, I got that around here, and my property tax bill
I got to pay at the end
of the month is $529 for the whole year.
When's the last time that there were two major anarchist events in your area and you had to decide which one to go to?
In the Florida Panhandle, like we don't have like hippie concerts, but we go fishing without licenses and all sorts of stuff. Like, I grow food all year round.
We have 2,000 person gatherings.
Year-round garden there.
We have 2,000 person gatherings. You know, it's a little bit. It's
not regularly, and
regularly
and
for decades. Pork Fest.
You're wearing masks.
Never hit 2,000.
Your businesses are shut down.
I'm not wearing a mask. Yeah. I did wear a Guy Fawkes mask.
Get
yesterday.
a clue, bro. I mean, if you're going to call into the show and talk crap, you should at least know what you're talking about.
I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm just trying to say, like, I miss Mark's influence on the show because
thank
I
you
really
for being the
felt
program director. Have a good night.
I mean, there was a good dynamic. Like, neither of us are going to fight with you the way Mark does, because we agree a lot more.
I don't agree with you about using violence against the state, and I bring it up almost every time you go there. So,
it's true.
You want to have a fight,
and that's why I keep going there. It's important to have different viewpoints. But I think that's the one thing that people miss about Mark is he kind of, even though he technically, I don't think he was a minarchist, he was always willing to play devil's advocate.
I think he actually was a minarchist for a very long time.
Well, he might be playing devil's advocate because he's the devil. But.
And he still has some of those views.
Let's go to David in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
To infinity and beyond. That's what my taxes would go from New Mexico to anywhere because I pay zero.
Don't pay them.
That's great. How can other people also pay zero?
Well, you can start a church.
I'm sorry, I was asking David.
No. Let me answer. All you got to do is move to New Mexico and live in a typical New Mexican house in a rural area, and your property tax will be basically zero, if not zero.
Once again, everybody just wants people to move to where they live, as though that's not already been going on here.
I didn't say to do that. I'm just giving you math. Anyway, it's not what I called about. What I called about
I'd much rather be surrounded by anarchists.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of anarchists around here, but that's not what I called about. I called to display how they roll. So this guy T.J. Trout on this radio, for instance, today he had the judge Roderick Kennedy on again. I discovered that just like UNM law professor Joshua Kastenberg, who is a regular twice weekly guest on the T.J. Trout show on KKOB Radio in New Mexico, so is retired Judge Roderick Kennedy. He's now part of the.
Do I know who any of these people are?
It's thanks for the call, David. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. David, specifically. So,
I don't keep the taxonomy of the members. They're just a bunch of scumbags.
David's point is that with whatever he's dealing with these folks is that there's a big club that he's not in, and they're all literally working against him. The radio stations that don't allow him to call are, whoever runs the show is buddies with the prosecutor or the chief of police involved in his case, et cetera, and so on. It is a big club, and he's not in it.
Yeah, and that is on a wider scale. That's certainly what we see politically is they align every segment of society against liberty, and it is very organized.
As a matter of fact, we are out of time for today. If you missed any part of our program, you can find it over at freetalklive.com in our archive section. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Peace.
Having taken her father's throne, Sarah Calhoun has fallen out with one of her best allies, and her brother Nathaniel heads into Imperial Philadelphia with a reckless plan. Her uncle Thomas, armed with new powers and new allies, aims to remove Sarah from her throne and from the world of the living. To survive and to gain the strength she needs to fight an impossible war, Sarah must unite the